If I told you that your ability to manifest success or to live the life that you desire didn't depend on luck, but rather on energy? Your emotions, your imagination, the frequency that you're on, all determine the reality that you get to experience. In today's video, we're going to dive deeper into this chart that you see here, the Vibrational Energy Chart. Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Kathy, and this is the Metaphysical Babes. If you are new here, welcome. On this channel, I talk about spirituality, I talk about mindset, and I talk about everything metaphysical. It doesn't depend on luck. It doesn't depend on your environment or your circumstances. It all depends on how you feel internally, because everything that you experience in the outside happens within first. Even in neuroscience, or specifically neuroplasticity, it tells you that the reality that you experience actually happens within the brain. And if you choose your thoughts carefully, eventually you can experience a whole new reality. What do I mean by that? How you perceive reality is based on how the neurons within your brain connect with each other and form neural pathways that will give you in turn the reality that you get to experience. So whatever you think about is pretty much what you get to experience. So I'm going to make it as simple as possible so that you can understand where you are right now, your level of consciousness, so that you can start leaving the lowest level of consciousness to arrive to the highest level of consciousness. According to this chart, the lowest level of consciousness would be the victim abuser consciousness, which is associated with the ego self, is what we find in the third dimensional level of consciousness. So we're looking at shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, and pride. So if you are going through life feeling these emotions all the time, you find yourself at the lowest level of consciousness. You are operating on the ego self, right? And that ego self, which keeps us stuck in the physical, in the lowest state of consciousness, is where we experience pretty much hell. Viktor Frankl is somebody that I consider as a hero in psychology because of the ordeal of having lived during the Second World War in Nazi Germany in a concentration camp out of Auschwitz. He explains in his book that it wasn't really about how mentally strong one was, but it was rather how well you could imagine or how hopeful you were able to stay during these atrocious times. So I'm inviting you to take a look at his book, Men's Search for Meaning. It might change your life. Trust me on that. I'm going to share with you a quote from his book here. Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. So the scale of consciousness, as it was developed by Dr. David Hawkins, measures the vibrational frequency of our emotions. At the lowest level, we have shame, which is at number 20, guilt at number 30, and fear at 100. These type of emotions keep us stuck. Moving up the scale, then we reach courage and love at 500, and eventually enlightenment at 700 and plus. If you assess your life right now, are you the type of person who's always feeling guilty about everything, feeling shameful, always living in fear, afraid of doing something because you're scared that you're going to fail? Here's the key. Your attitude and imagination determine where you are on this scale. A person who imagines the worst case scenario, like I said, who focuses on fear and doubt, stays in a low vibration. But someone who chooses to see possibility, who imagines a better future, will naturally rise higher. How does your vibration affect your reality? Your attitude is the lens through which you see the world. And what do I mean by imagination? You know, imagination would be considered the blueprint for your future, if you think about it. Anything that if you ask anybody who's successful in this life, they will always tell you that they imagine themselves being successful. They imagine themselves running a business. They imagine themselves becoming a lawyer or a doctor and so on. So as you see, your imagination is the blueprint for your future. Your vibrations and your emotions and your energy would be the lens through which you build your life. Viktor Frankl endured unimaginable suffering in Nazi concentration camps. Yet he wrote that what gave him strength was his ability to imagine a better future, to visualize himself teaching, sharing his wisdom, and living freely. That was the vision that kept his spirit alive. So think about this for yourself. Where would you consider yourself at this vibrational energy scale? Are you living in grief, in fear, or you're constantly desiring things that are not coming to you? You know, in order to experience love, you often hear that you need to feel love. You have to be able to move up this scale here, or this chart, to love. In order for you to experience love, it means that you become one with love. When you start moving from the third dimension to the fifth dimension, where love is, the I am presence is, you start becoming one with what you desire. But before we get there, there are a couple of steps that we cannot miss, right? And to leave the victim abuser consciousness, you move to the next dimension, which would be the self-empowerment dimension. You start going up to the fourth dimension and the fifth dimension and so on. So at 250, we have neutrality. What is neutrality? I'll give you a clear example. Neutrality would be in the case that you desire to have a car. Right now, you are taking a bus to get to work every day. You are not going to base your life on whether you get a car or not. Although, yes, your desire is to have a car, but would you think of yourself lower because you don't have a car? No, just be neutral about it. Keep going every day, showing up every day at the bus stop to take the bus. Eventually, if you're working on yourself and you work in your imagination, you take the aspired actions, eventually you will get a car. Now, the next step would be willingness. Are you willing to take the necessary steps for you to acquire this car? What does that mean? Does it mean looking at cars? Does it mean putting a plan together, a budget together to see how you can afford this car, whether you're going to save money to get it, whether you're going to finance the car? Be willing. If you want to lose weight, be willing to get out of your bed at 5 a.m. in the morning if needs be for you to get yourself to the gym. Having the motivation is one thing, but being willing, that willpower will take you from where you are now to your desired reality. Now, the next step would be acceptance. Acceptance is important. A lot of times we like to complain about our current situations. You know, I don't want to experience this bill. I don't want to experience this this job right now. It is not serving me. My boss is annoying. The people don't know how to drive. You have to be able to remain neutral and accept where you are in life. It may not be the best situation for you, but by simply accepting where you are, you're changing your attitude automatically from the lower state of consciousness, which is shame or guilt, to a level of acceptance which takes you from 20 to 350 if you were to go by this chart. You have to empower yourself, and accepting your reality is a way to empower yourself. Inner light is the next level. It is where you fall within the paradise, the higher self, between 400 and 539, which is the new humanity consciousness. I know it sounds a little bit complicated, but bear with me, guys, because these things are important. We talk about manifestation, but we never assess our state of consciousness. Yes, you can manifest with guilt, with shame and all that, but what happens is that you may get your manifestation or your desires, but you might not be able to keep it, because you're not becoming one with it. You are constantly living with anxiety. You're constantly looping this fear, this shame, this guilt in your head. You're not going to be able to keep your manifestation. You're not going to be able to keep and nurture that relationship that you had ever so desired, but now it's slipping away from your fingers because we're not aware of the state of our consciousness, or what we call self-concept. When you know who you are, when you know where you are on the scale of consciousness, you know how to move through life. You get to determine your reality. I've made a video about how we are energy beings, and Nikola Tesla says that if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, vibrations, and frequency. The lower at the vibrational energy chart you are, the less you can actually feel love, feel oneness, feel the presence of God within yourself. Manifest your desires and keep your desires, because at that point you understand that you are the one who's creating your reality. You understand that you are one with everything. There's one consciousness. You look at the other as yourself, because whatever the other is projecting to you is only your brain projecting that to you. So now when we move to the level of self-realization, where we're experiencing awareness or inner wisdom, inner love, oneness, like I said, you start seeing yourself in the other. You can be in a crowd of people, but you understand that there is no other but the I, the self, that is present. When you give your all, when you are living with courage, when you're willing, when you accept your reality, when you're neutral, you're rising up to the higher levels of consciousness, guess what happened? Your higher self, the Christ within, your Savior, will come and help you. We are not alone, guys. God would not want to trap us, right? Why would God want to trick us? God wants us to be free. God wants us to rise from the third dimension to the higher dimensions, of consciousness, where we meet him or her and we become one with God, right? Which is the full consciousness. Is it impossible for us? No, it's not impossible for us. And I believe that right now in this age of Aquarius, this is what's happening. Everyone is waking up and we're looking and searching for higher knowledge. We want to leave these lower hells of consciousness and rise above to our highest levels of consciousness, where we become the I am presence. When we are awareness, we are one with awareness. And I would invite you guys to start practicing meditation. It is like smoking a joint that is eternal. When you are at this level, you're breathing so deeply from your solar plexus, you are literally becoming one with everything around you. You understand everyone. You have love for everyone because you know you are loved. We have to start becoming aware of our state. When you are applying for a job, what is your state of consciousness? What is your awareness? Who do you think you are in this moment? Do you think that you are not good enough for this position? Or do you believe that, why not you? Why not me? Of course they need me. Of course I'm valuable. Of course, my presence here is important. I wake up every morning, I look towards the east where the sun rises, and I say this, and I would invite you to say the same thing and do the same thing if it resonates with you. I say this: today is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Depending on how I feel, I say, today is the day that I am making. I will rejoice and I will be glad in it. I would invite you to do the same thing, and you will start seeing changes in your reality. You will start feeling that level of courage. You will start feeling this willingness to get out of your bed, to do the things that you might not necessarily feel like doing. These are the aspired actions that we take without really pushing ourselves too hard, right? It becomes natural. It becomes our second nature. The fifth dimension obviously is the oneness and the inner love and the presence and the non-duality that I'm talking about. You start seeing yourself in the other. If somebody is reacting a certain way in your face, you have to pause for a second and ask yourself, what is the state of consciousness in which I am in right now that is making me experience this reality, this current reality? Like I said, in neuroplasticity, they even say the same thing. It is not so much about the biological neurons, it is rather in how they connect. Like I've said in previous videos, the brain picks up on information and then, form a neural pathway in order to create a certain expectations for yourself. So the brain starts expecting a reality, and this is the reality that you experience. So when you're experiencing something that is unwanted, ask yourself, take a moment here and ask yourself, okay, what is it about myself that I believe about myself that is making me experience this current reality? Because if you believe yourself to be not good enough or not worthy of winning the lottery or not worthy of this love, then you might just experience that. And if this is your constant mental conversation, this is what you will get to experience. Unfortunately, this is just how it is. Now, if you start cleaning up your mental dialogue, your mental diet, how you perceive yourself and what you want to expect, your reality is going to start changing. I, for one, was constantly living in this victim mentality. I thought everything that was happening to me was out of my power. I thought people were doing to me until I understood that I was the God of my reality in that sense. And please, guys, don't get me wrong when I say that the God of reality. It is just to help you understand how powerful we are. Of course, don't get me wrong. There are circumstances that could be above and beyond and out of our control. I talked about Viktor Frankl, people that didn't make it out of the concentration camps. And based on his experiences, he tells you in his book that it was because he was able to remain hopeful and have a positive attitude in the midst of this madness that got him out of Auschwitz. What is your attitude towards life, towards this experience, towards this person that is making you experience this reality? You are doing it. You are the center of it all. In this channel, I talk about spirituality. I talk about rituals. I've made a video about a head washing rituals that you could do to help sort of like declutter your energies, to unstuck your energy. I've made a video about how coffee can awaken your spirit. Guess what, guys? It is not so much the coffee itself that is doing it. It's you. The power, the magic is you. You are the one who's making everything happen. You are the one who's making the world go around. So when you start becoming one with the flow of life, and I've made a video about this, that true fulfillment is in the way that we discipline our thoughts, our mind, in the way that nature is disciplined. So if you start disciplining your thoughts, your attitude, your perception, then reality will actually follow suit. Think about this for a second here. A river is not asking itself, why is it flowing, downstream, right? It just is. So once you start accepting yourself, you accept your reality, you are, and decide that I am, just like the river says to itself, I am the flow. I'm not just so much the river, but I am the flow. You are just as much that. I hope this is making sense. I'm intending that it is. And I would love for you to leave a comment in the comment section below. Like and subscribe as well, guys, right? And reach out to me if you need more help with this. I was living in the victim mentality for years. For years, not understanding that God loved me. God wanted me to experience a beautiful life. I've had instances where I had, manifested amazing things, money, people, experiences, travel, winning things and stuff like that. But I used to think that they were just happening by luck, not understanding that it was my energy doing those things. It was how I was vibrating in life. When I was vibrating love, I was experiencing love. When I was vibrating oneness, I became one with everything. Assess your life right now. Ask yourself, what are you doing? What are you saying to yourself that is making you experience the reality that you're currently experiencing? And I guarantee you guys, by simply changing your mental diet, create a list of what you would love to experience for yourself and repeat them every day, every chance that you have. You have to be willing. You have to have the courage. You have to accept. You have to then allow the inner light to come through you. And what is the inner light? The inner light is the downloads that you start receiving. I'm sure many of you have had moments of clarity that happened to you like that. You had an idea that came out of of nowhere, when you're in sync, when you are in flow with God, with the love of God, with the I am presence, you will start receiving information. All of a sudden, you will know things without knowing why you know them. You know them and they start making sense. You receive those downloads. I've had moments where I've received total downloads, and I would move with the information that I would receive. Some people, they call them spirit. Yes, that's possible. Call them however you like. Your higher self, your spirit team, your ancestors, whatever makes you feel good, and remain positive. Use that. Don't listen to people that are telling you that this is woo-woo, this is fluff. No, because at the collective consciousness, communities and people and nations, they've created things to help them always rise above to higher dimension. If the Bible is your comfort, then use the Bible. Understand Jesus' teachings as well. When Jesus said, I am the way, he's using the name of God here. I am. So every time you use I am, you are using the name of God. If you say I am ashamed, I am guilty, I am fearful, that is the only way that you're gonna blaspheme here, is by using I am in a negative way. Keeping yourself in hell here at the lowest level of consciousness. Think about that. But if you start saying I am love, you are meeting God here, the awareness of God, and understanding that will take you out of the reality, this undesired reality that you might be experiencing right now, to your desired reality. The magic of life is in your attitude, is in the way that you decide to perceive reality. Always have a positive attitude, no matter how it is. Take the example of Viktor Frankl here. When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves, is what Viktor Frankl says. Remember this quote: when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. By changing ourselves, by changing our attitude, we might experience a different reality, a better reality. No matter your circumstances, you have the power to imagine, to believe, and then shift your frequency. And when you do that, the world around you starts to change too. How do we move up the scale and manifest success and the life that we really desire? Emotional awareness and self-mastery is how you move up the scale of consciousness. I would never really experience the love that I wanted because I was always in a victim consciousness. If you are right now, please stop. Stop. Take it from me. Start changing the narratives in your head. From time to time, go into nature. Allow yourself to be one with nature so that you can experience love and comfort and security and feel grounded. So identify where you are on the scale. Where are you vibrating? Are you vibrating at fear and doubt? Or are you moving into courage and trust? A key practice here obviously would be mental reframing. Like I said, when you can catch yourself in a low vibration thought, ask, how can I see this differently? And choose to find meaning, just as Viktor Frankl did, instead of sinking into despair, guys. If Viktor Frankl can make it out of Auschwitz, guys, wherever you are right now, you can make it out of that situation. Wherever you are right now, whatever country, whatever state, whatever continent you're on right now, whatever is happening around you, by maintaining a positive attitude, this is how you experience the magic of life. That is the magic that everybody's talking about. The gurus, the spiritual leaders are talking about. It is keeping this vibration of love, of oneness, of awareness, of I am presence, that is going to allow you to experience a different reality. Science talks about it, spirituality talks about it, esotericism talks about it. Now let's talk about how you can shift your energy upward. Gratitude and perspective shift. Even in difficult moments, guys, find something to be grateful for. Viktor Frankl called this finding meaning in suffering. The second step is imagination and visualization. Picture your ideal life daily. See yourself already succeeding, thriving, and living your dreams. Do you have dreams? Do you have things that you aspire to? Start seeing them, start visualizing them, work on those mental pictures. Create this theater in your mind and see everything at play from there. Breath work and meditation. This one is a big one for me. The more I practiced meditation, the higher I found myself on the scale of consciousness. This is how you calm the nervous system and tap into higher states of consciousness. In other videos, I talk about calming the nervous system. Understanding your nervous system needs to be calm in order for you to manifest anything. If you are in a state of flight and fight, fight or flight, if you are in a freeze mode, if you are constantly in anxiety, your manifestations are just going to be that, fight or flight. Freeze mode. You're never going to attain it or become one with that which you want to manifest. So high vibrational inputs would be the next step here, guys. Choose books and music and people that uplift and inspire you. That's important. As much as I talk about circumstances and how they do not matter, but maybe sometimes for some people, you need to change your environment. You need to change your circle of friends because, if they are negative, so they will have a tendency to make you negative. Perhaps it's what you need to do. Perhaps you need to move, right? So the last step would be to act as if. Start living your life like you are that which you want to experience. Live today as if you are already in the reality that you desire. This conditions your mind to accept it as your truth. Okay, guys? Now, how do you rewire your subconscious mind for success? Your subconscious mind does not know the difference between reality and imagination. This is why visualization is so powerful. When you imagine your success in vivid detail, your mind starts to accept it as real, and your energy shifts to attract that reality. Frankl believed that those who had a strong vision for the future had a much higher chance for survival. In the same way, when you create a clear vision of your dream life, you align yourself with that reality. Now, how do you align actions with higher vibration? Your actions must match your vibration. If you want success, act with confidence. If you want love, show love. Be love. Give love to those around you. Find acts of service that you could do in your neighborhood, in your community. Give love in that way so that you can experience love. If you want abundance, move from a place of trust, not fear. When you know the Father will always give you, you do not act based on fear. You act based on trust. I made a video about manifesting like a spoiled brat. And I didn't mean to act, with this sort of like entitled, attitude. I mean, it is the trust and the confidence that you have in the Father, that you have in yourself, that you have in God, instead of living with fear. That is how you attain abundance. Start believing that whatever you want, it is there. There is an abundance of money. There's an abundance of money just like there's an abundance of oxygen for you. If you move with that trust, abundance will follow suit in your life. So how do you know that you're raising your vibration? You might ask, well, here are some signs. You react differently, choosing peace instead of anger. You start seeing synchronicities, you like repeating numbers or unexpected opportunities come your way. You feel lighter. You are more inspired. You are excited about life, and you begin attracting people and experiences and success effortlessly. Like I said, you become one with the flow. Just like the waves are moving with the ocean, like Alan Watts says, you start moving like that with life. Everything is just falling into place. You are at the right place at the right time. This is the power of attitude and imagination. When you consciously elevate your energy, your whole reality begins to shift. Be conscious, become aware of your thoughts. What are you saying to yourself? When you look at yourself in the mirror, what are the thoughts that go through your mind? Who do you say you are? Who do you believe yourself to be? If you believe yourself to be the shameful person that is this victim who's constantly finding himself or herself in situationships, well, guess what? You're going to keep, this is the reality that you're going to continue experiencing. Become aware of that and own that. Own your reality. Become the master of your reality so that you can dictate your destiny. It is not up to other people. It is not up to your government. It is not up to your church. It is up to you. God gave you the dominion. Own it. Take it, embrace it. So let me leave you here with this thought. No matter what happens in life, the one thing that you can always control is your attitude, your awareness of yourself, of your thought, of your imagination, of your visualizations, your level of consciousness. Where are you on this scale? Find where you are. And if you are at the lowest state of consciousness, work your way up. All it takes is your awareness. All it takes is acknowledging where you are. You are the God of your reality. You are divinity itself. So therefore, you cannot be a victim. Start moving yourself away from the victim mentality up to love and awareness in the I am presence where God resides. Share with me in the comment section, what are the steps that you are willing to take right now to start moving up the scale of vibrations? Change your frequency, change your vibration, change your energy so that you can experience the life that you so desire. I was there myself. All I had to do was change my mental dialogue, and I started saying to myself, no, I am Kati. Today is the day that I am making, and I will rejoice and I will be glad in it. This is my reality. Reality is rigged in my favor. Everything that I want wants me even more. The people that I admire me even more. I am successful in everything that I do. Everything I touch turns to gold. And if it doesn't turn to gold today, it will eventually turn to gold. And I'm not afraid. I'm living in trust, and I'm living in the knowing that God has my back. The universe has my back. My spirit team has my back. My ancestors have my back. It doesn't matter. You make this decision for yourself. Do not listen to people. The only thing that you need to do is start changing the belief that you have about yourself. It doesn't matter what your teacher told you 20 years ago. It doesn't matter what your dad or your mom said to you that is probably like still eating at you today. Change that. Own that you decide, that you declare and decree that you are a child of God and that nobody has dominion over you. You have dominion over your life, over your destiny. You have dominion over this physical world here because God gave you that power, and own it so that you can experience a different reality today. Share in the comment section below what you're doing right now to raise your vibration. And if you need help in that department, reach out to me. If this video resonated with you, make sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Your energy is everything. Keep raising it. Keep imagining the best. Only you can do that. Nobody else can imagine for you. That's your power. Nobody can imagine anything for you. If you close your eyes right now, you imagine yourself in Greece. Who can say that you're not in Greece but you yourself? Nobody can say that. Only you can say, I'm not in Greece. But if you close your eyes and you visualize yourself in Greece, in Mykonos, wherever you decide to be, guess what? You are there. You are there. Now, to physically get there, guess what? There are a lot of things that can happen to actually take you from the imagination to get you to Greece. You can win a trip. People might come and offer you a ticket. How do you know? You don't know what is at work here in the grand scheme of the universe. You don't know what God is working for you. So stop speaking against yourself. Stop killing your imagination. Live in your imagination. Live in those beautiful pictures in the theater of your mind. Make those movies. Create the scenes for yourself. Live there. Do not listen to anybody. Do not let anything stop you, because only you can stop the stream of beautiful visualizations within the theater of your mind. Keep raising your vibration, keep raising your energy, keep imagining the best, and watch how your world transforms. Your imagination is the key to unlocking your dream life. Use it wisely. Thanks for watching, guys. God bless you, and let's continue to prosper together.